Hi, I'm Jessie Rice Evans. You're watching Poets House Presents. I'll be reading a few poems from my 2019 collection, The Uninhabitable, put out by Sibling Rivalry Press. Hope everyone is hanging in there and donating to your local bail funds. The pool. The first cool day, I drape my knotted body with old sweatshirt, cheap canvas sneakers, a dressing down I usually reserve for home. My period 8 days late. I am crying on the steering wheel, unable to allow myself to mourn my shoulders, how they escalate, how I need to pierce myself and drain the excess I am trying every day to shove inside my skin like a sack of grains, but you know, the rotting kind. I buy makeup that promises glow or glimmer or another adjective I reserve for how fireflies were the only lanterns I knew for the first 100 years of my country life. How everything smelled electric, and benches were jaunty wood, stumped hunks, and how your porch leapt when it saw me drifting. Instead of glow, I gloom, dark but iridescent, dunked, gasping, my body on mute, except the dreams where I open drawers of my dresser from college, cat-eye sunglasses, femme gear, things I haven't touched since I started to feel. In another, I am folding laundry, still dewy with sunrise. The hammock, a knotted metaphor for my clasped back. How I only jumped off the roof that once, mattress leafed, with autumn sparking bark, my legs collapsing into the swell of soft. My own swells still steeping along my hips, my hands, your hair, hideous fist I begged you to leave rattling in the pickup truck. Poison season. When my name fills your mouth, it will leave you scorched. The ruin I carry inside of me, now your burden, your scarred hull rueful as ever. I haunt you in slices of paper, making claims, your fringed throat a ghost, a ravaged edge. What is it about me that brings out the shrill violence in people? The pool, too. Long live Thursdays, gentle thrum of tide on old wood, crossing the bridge to drip young. Front door a poison, knob slick with spit, where it should have been cool cinder block. What are we made of? A knocking prevails, windows cracked, low-key, quiet urge to transform, unignorable and long-haired, bloodbath between my teeth, lips ramped with salt speck. My fist for your eyelash, a ride for a gulp. You call me by my new name, leave me hooked on the back of your closet, streetwear. That night in the pool, naked crust of moon held underwater, the ground leaking the hormones my blood couldn't balance, my organs slurped like milkshakes. When my brow slips, you know I am low on forgiveness, relentless push towards horizon unknowable, alone in the study making calls, my feet bare against rough grass, fireflies, rope hammock curving under my hips, belting my jeans higher. I took whatever I could, my hands on, because you were in the room. The Uninhabitable. I am knee-deep in rosemary, flowering editorial. My bedroom leaks camphor and anise, warm roots rooting. No one needs another memoir about a white girl, but here we are. My whiteness a neutrality I can fade into. Dozens of shades of me, lining all public, all trenched, worming through downtown, tasseled or flat, texture and afterthought. As long as men's narratives are courageous, I purge here and in the street, behind buildings no longer mine, jewel. Glass shawl knotted in bodega bag, my mouth unhooked like a flag. Are we so neutral as to be blank, all others figures cast over the draped sheet, objective backdrop cloth wrinkled with violence? In an instant, we erase by refusing to acknowledge an other, a dynamic character outside of our collective self. I can barely stand how vast you wanted me to be. Stretch gargantuan, thinning, edges tearing like dough, passive as a stretch. Another drawl. I see two things in the blue your body gulps. Roundness, cooling violet, a dry sadness scraped away into shards of your autumn skins. Your haunch a fishing village aflame with line and shadow. The way a vineyard does more than bloom. The timbre of October loosening. Parquet floors sprinkled with flecks of storm water, a frill of canvas sopping in the foyer. You couldn't begin to see the cartography of my desire, ruched and augmented, crackling haughty noise, ankle pooling out of boot, legs spread open, knees draped cavern, folded map of myself burned around its soft edges. I'm Jessie Rice Evans. You can find me online at jessericeevans.com. That's JESSERICEEVANS.com, or on social media at Rice Evans. That's RICEEVANS. Thank you to Poets House for hosting me for these socially distant reading series. I'm excited to say that I'll be teaching a workshop this summer, 6 weeks of queer and trans poetry. We're going to write a lot and read work by contemporary queer and trans, Black and brown, sick and disabled writers to really try to understand what's happening in poetics today.
If you've enjoyed these programs, please consider giving a contribution to Poets House. For more than 30 years, they've kept the door wide open to everyone for the joy of poetry. Recently, they have temporarily had to shut the door and are reeling from the financial implications. Please give, even a small donation if you can. Thank you.